but 16 no a SMP ana oditu dwa ye begimre kakra na ya kyerkyere mo mini nua bema na no wa hene champo enti na ye tena se na ya bobom kakra o mampanyi kasawi a ye besi abotre na ya kyerkyere mo ede amamo ye frame akosia high tension eje wa bonso ohini so beka ya update number 16 no ye bobo so a eniama ben sa na office o mampanyi di tudwa
update 16 no Ghana mampanyi na nado ba fellow Ghanaians no the obeka kire ne se opese obie borders.
Good.
Borders now obie no specifically na aeroplane there.
Kotoka.
And also obie. Enti obie no nso no ode nhyehyɛ bi toto kwan mu a na o hwɛ animu se eno betimi aboa na omo afiri amano ne eba no.
All right.
Omo nso emfa yade ne bi ma.
Good. Ohene mame fancy Sam Radio Ghana mampanyi His Excellency Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo walande yenko na yenko tie no na okasa wi a ibesi abotre ne a kyerkyere mo e de amamo ye ba sese.
Fellow Ghanaians, good evening. This is the 17th time that you're kindly opening the doors to your homes, to me, to enable me brief you about the issue of COVID-19, the steps being taken by government to eliminate it, and the measures being implemented to ease progressively and safely the restrictions put in place to defeat the virus. We in Ghana have certainly come a long way and have made significant progress in combating the disease. The angst, fear, and panic exhibited by many, especially when the first 2 cases were recorded on our shores, have been replaced in recent weeks by a growing sense of optimism and renewed hope that we are on our way to winning the battle against the pandemic. The improvement in the situation is all thanks to the effectiveness of the measures put in place by government, the cooperation and support of you, the Ghanaian people, and most certainly by the grace of Almighty God. Nevertheless, I appeal to each and every one of you to continue to tread on the path constructed by government and follow religiously all the social distancing, mask wearing, and enhanced hygiene protocols. They are and will remain our weapons in this struggle against the virus. In the same manner, we have to remember to continue improving our fitness by exercising and eating well, patronizing our healthy Ghanaian foods, which will boost our immunity to disease and help us in the fight against the pandemic. When I delivered update number 16, exactly 3 weeks ago, the number of recorded active cases, that is persons with the virus, stood at 1,847. This number, as of Friday, 18 September, has reduced considerably to 507 persons. There are currently some regions in the country without active cases. Greater Accra, Eastern, Ashanti, and Central regions account for some 80% of the active cases. As of Friday, 18 September 2020, the total number of tests conducted is 470,730. So far, a total of 45,2 258 persons have recovered, and 297 persons, a great majority of them with underlying illnesses such as hypertension, diabetes, chronic liver disease, and asthma, have sadly died. In the face of these encouraging statistics, I know there are many who are wondering why I have not announced a complete return to normalcy in all aspects of national life, because they believe the terrible amount of work undertaken by government, health officials, heroic frontline health workers, and members of the security agencies in bringing us this far. Now more than ever, we must be even more disciplined in our adherence to the personal hygiene, mask wearing, and social distancing measures that have become part of our daily routines. That is the way to eliminate the virus altogether. The experience in other parts of the world show us that the virus can return with a vengeance once you let your guard down. Fellow Ghanaians, in my last address, I announced the reopening of our international airport, Kotoka International Airport, signaling our gradual reintegration with the rest of the world. 16 out of the 23 airlines that operated in Kotoka prior to its closure have again commenced flights to and from Accra. As of yesterday, Saturday, 19 September, a total of 10,061 passengers had been tested at Kotoka. In spite of the requirement that all passengers must be in possession of a negative PCR test result upon their arrival in Ghana, a test which should have been conducted not more than 72 hours before the scheduled departure from the country of origin. A total of 26 positive cases had been recorded from the tests at Kotoka. Let us pause for a moment and imagine what would have happened if these 26 positives had not been detected and had been allowed to mingle with the population. Even though the cost of 150 United States dollars per passenger for the mandatory airport COVID tests has been criticized in certain quarters, the value of the test in its speed, accuracy, and savings for passengers who no longer have to bear the cost of the 14-day mandatory quarantine in hotels has been clearly established. It is worth noting that a lot of people who have experienced it firsthand, the service being offered at our international airport, have praised the country for the innovation and farsightedness on display at our airport. Let me assure you again that as President of the Republic, I will do everything in my power to protect you and stop the importation of the virus into our country or limit and contain its spread. This is my solemn commitment to you. Fellow Ghanaians, on Friday, 18 September, 561,674 JHS3 students completed the Basic Education Certificate Examination, BECE. SHS3 students also, on 5th September, wrote the last paper of the West Africa Senior Secondary Certificate Examination, WACSE. I am particularly excited at this development because despite the fears and genuine anxiety expressed by some and the criticisms proffered by some in the political space, these students have gone to school, studied, sat, and completed their examinations unscathed. Their forward march in life has not been interrupted. And by the grace of God, the predictions made by some of widespread infections and even deaths did not materialize. I pledged I'll be the last person to put the lives of students at risk, and I express my deep appreciation to all parents and guardians for the trust reposed in me and my government. I pray for the success of the students in their exams. As has already been announced, relevant arrangements and logistical deployments are being made for the return to school of second-year, junior, and senior high school students. Continuing students in the University of Cape Coast, the University of Health and Allied Sciences, technical universities, and some other colleges have returned to school, and I've been reliably informed that adherence to protocols is high. Long may it continue. On Monday, 14 September, I extended by executive instrument the mandatory wearing of face masks by another 3 months. So until 14 December 2020, the wearing of masks remains mandatory, and the law enforcement agencies will be required to ensure this directive is respected by all. It has served us well in the fight against COVID-19. So I urge each and every one of us to wear our masks and do so correctly anytime we leave our homes. It is the new normal requirement of our daily existence until the virus disappears. Towards the progressive easing of restrictions, government has taken the decision to allow the resumption of training in all contact sports, taking into consideration the imminent participation of our national teams in international competitions. Indeed, some national teams have already been given the dispensation to begin training ahead of their international engagements. All sports people who are camped are to be tested regularly. Fellow Ghanaians, with respect to football, after due consultations with the Ghana Football Association, it has been decided that the Ghana Premier League and the Division I Football League will restart on Friday, 30th October, with a full regime of testing of the players, technical and management staff. No spectators will be allowed at the training centers. And when actual competition resumes, seating at all stadia will be limited to 25% capacity to ensure social distancing. Wearing of masks by spectators at stadia will be mandatory. The restart of all other sporting competitions will be determined on a case-by-case basis, pending consultations between the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the respective sport associations. Private burials, still with a maximum of 100 persons, can continue to be performed. Our borders by land and sea will remain closed to human traffic until further notice. Beaches, pubs, cinemas, and nightclubs remain closed until further notice. All other institutions that have been cleared to function are to continue to do so in strict adherence to the COVID-19 protocols. Enuanom, Onyankopɔn adaroma, nneɛma ɛyɛ ba ɛwɔ yare no ho. Nanso, ɛda so wɔ hɔ, ɛnkɔɛ. Enti, yɛnkɔ so ndidi nhyehyɛeɛ a aban ɛde ato hɔ no so. Titiri, ufifi a, hyɛ mask, kosi bere a wobɛba fie. Ɛno na ɛbɛboa ama yɛntumi apam yare ɛfiri yɛn man mu. Anyamime, nyumodromo, ni bi yano jogba ye helal befa. Shimon washweko hela akra. No ewo. Wayano, ni waye hela agbejiani. To, ni amlamo kefoshi. Beni afe ni waye hela ni nkunim. Titri ya, washishiya, wawo maske. Kashi beni wabab kuwose. Energy noni ba wawo ni washwe hela akra kejamanemi. Fellow Ghanaians, as we work to rid the virus from our shores, let us continue to remember at all times that this virus is no respecter of persons and has wreaked its havoc on every country on the planet. There are countries that are imposing lockdowns all over again. Others are imposing curfews, all in a bid to curb the onset of fresh infections and a second wave. Let us continue to look out for one another and remain each other's keeper. United and with one goal in mind, we will emerge victorious in the fight against COVID-19. 0 active cases must be the ultimate aim. My rallying cry to you all remains, this too shall pass, for the battle is the Lord's. May God bless us all in our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. I thank you for your attention, and have a good night.
Busia yesai Emma Muakwaba na nado Dankwa Akufo-Addo wakasa wiem se simabe se dunsia ne wancha ho kra fellow Ghanaians na me se ohene ne waka nsem wankasa na I think sade ba ko a sports of any beje ho any division 1 and African Premier League eno de hyeto ho nti ye be hya ase ne ya kyerem enti abusia ye be fa ne ye fa ne ye fa nti me bom kakra na owa hene champion so wato waso nti ahyase no Omampenye Akufo-Addo ade ye nyina ya se enkode no ye nyina yeta na chi se ne be ya coronavirus anase COVID-19 no ye betumi apam no kra afi wo mayi mu na ye ka ni se nsusu ana kyese enhyehyia wodo a wono Omampenye Akufo-Addo ye no abeye mra wade egu akwama ye protocols and directives se me no mienu ye bedi so na coronavirus na afi ye so ntempa no wase emimu bi ye de na nsu du ba bi a ye de agodie wrem protocols ne bi ne so emu baako ani social distancing ye say yamfanya adwuma yentete yentem ma yembimbe nipa ene nanado wababontia bekirem se emu se wo boy aba so se social distancing no ye adwuma de nanso bebi wo honum na akotwamu a utim se ebufu yie pa enkrofo emfanya hwe sanso ana nose mask no wase ye hye enyo bi na beka kye ose bo ho ban eno so no wo mampanyisi ni hyemu no ohun ne se enhyeda enkoye na no na wode abasobode ema health workers apomdi dwumefo ye omu wo mayi mu se wo mayade pa na ye ka ne sa nanya onom nko a security services personnel soldierfo police service customs fire service munyina muka ho bi wo mu so ka ho bi ananhyehyeye no ye gusu a ye di so na Omampenye Akufo-Addo ekasa no wode to just say update number 16 ni mu no na wo hwe ba bia active cases say ye ka active cases no a eno no ye nipa dodo a wonom ya hwe omamo mo ho ato omokra eni nipa dodo a sabe omoso ahwe wonom nkwa ne ya beka kire no ena ye active cases enti update number 16 no na ye active cases no e ya pemba ko ahanwotwe eni aduanan so 1847 say see our Omampenyi ede ni update number 17 no ebreye no active cases no aba 557 neche se ye ku ye nimu ara na abakwa me de bewie mu ama ohwa hene ensuso ato aso ene se wase coronavirus no virus sa wankasa wugitum na mmom se wani di yi a eno so bo wo hwe ho no mu ahwe ya na akopie ade ahodo bebre hye ho ama wati nanan mo siedo 81 local food no yankasa yenuane ene wunya fufu a na watai benku a na watai abeti a na watai wunya bode asonso atwinkotomre hwe mugu so kwansusu aka ho dawa na de wono afin so no wosi etumi ye exercise bebre yantretene yapom nya exercise ne se woda mpa so na upegya wo na ba akofwe wiem da bi wosi wutumi tigina na wo exercise wo body no na hoden tumi ebemu na ye boost immune system no ye wonra wodo bebrebe ya chese ewodwa so pharmacy shop a wo betumi atobi na wanom vitamin C no ana wo fi se bia wuntumi nto aso bolo wunya eno so wonom a betumi aboa sanso ana de zinc wo mu no ya na eye kama enura wodo a yenum ebetimi boost immune system no se wunya sa akade no a yenhwe na yenidi yenti ohene yemfa weni si ya na yensanko yenim
abusia bia me so mikita no ene se omampani na nado ekire mu sesese no yade no ewom se ye ko etia ya yepese ye sode so na yetu ase ede nkofo bebre na ekire se na yade ekura no adempo na omampani won kan kire Ghana fo se ene oman no se yesusu se yade no ekode a ene yema bibia entofo na yenye de yepese ye no se oba eche wa adwade a na ne ho asiesie a na oye osiesie na tomanso ete ewo mpani animu a ebi nyira entide wo mo eye na obehwe amayade nyina ase atuo no eno ankasa na ono ene na ban omuguso a omo eye enti okire mu se enei no eye 45,258 empem aduanan enum ahanu aduonum enwotwe na chese omo ho atọ mo e free covid-19 yade emu asese no wo hwa ankasa na omo nso a ahwere won kwa no enipa ahanu aduokono enso 297 na omo ahwere omo enkwa eno no ekire se na omo ewo yade bi a ete woni padua mu a sabe mpreduasa ebi a omo anhye no nso esi kire yade eka ho mojaboroso eka ho ene yade ahodo bi a eno obetimi atwe nipa akọ ensama enko a eno no yama yani ankoso eno ene kofa asa yade enyina ede baaye wosan so kire se mantem bi ewo Ghana ha ese ye mantem na firidu akodu nsia omo no yade no ebi ni ho omo ni active cases bia ya ebetimi aka ya wo kire se baby to say Greater Accra womo any active cases and Eastern so no currently omo any active cases bia ewomo and just Central region so eka ho ebia hwehweye no de su susudua so about to say ohamu enchichemu aduwotwe 80% ya ne nyina eboa yade no kwa na ekofom ewo omamu na nkrofo bi nso wo ho a womo de ka wonko a nyanka yade no ate atese ekwan aban enam so a wo bo ne homoden so obetu yade no ase e de afiri wo man emuo no wo de so wo ntese dogo bi enu abena so ne na ban ne de wo ye de wo betimi bia ama yade wo ate so se hwi e de akwa wo bo ye nyina ya baso na de betimi so aboa na me ne umienu yade no ebi nchie no ene se ye pia bontene a asam a wono mampani wone na ban ne mpanimfo a enima pomuden ehwo ntotoye akade ato yanim no ye mfanya adwuma ene ye face mask na wo nose mask no upia e wo so obo homoden na wo hye ba bia wonam bia nipa nhia mu dodo asabe mpreduasa wonkoye hwe wo ho ne na baate no e wo se ni nyina da otwe ho ade firi ho na ekoba ne sa ebeboa ama yade no wonso wade ho